Many thanks for your time. The Northern Regional Security Council has directed that pathologists conduct a post-mortem on an 18-year-old boy who was allegedly shot by the police at Lamashegu following a clash between the police and the youth there. 4 persons were also injured and are receiving treatment at the hospital. The clash occurred when police attempted to arrest a man who had refused to stop and fired gunshots at him.
It all started with an attempt by the police to arrest a 24-year-old Rahman Jabir for driving an unlicensed vehicle. With total disregard for tradition, they invaded the Lamashegu Nas Palace, firing shots after they had shot Rahman. This angered the youth, who said it was not the first time such disrespect had been shown to a traditional authority in the area, leading to the violence. In a split second, some people were hit, including an 18-year-old junior high school graduate, Abdul Hakim Yakubu. At the home of the late Hakim this morning, it was a moment of grief. His father, Yakubu Shaibu, could not hold back his tears as he tried speaking to the media.
He did nothing wrong, and once he didn't do anything wrong and they killed him, I leave the matter in the hands of God. If it's power they have exhibited, for me, God is the owner of absolute power.
To help calm tempers, the Regional Security Committee met with the chief to help appeal to the youth to remain calm. But Ibrahim Mohammed had a strong word for Rexer.
Allow the police conduct their recruitment independently, just like the military. It is the protocol, and politics is destroying the service, so let this be the last that they will kill people in the area. 1 person was killed and 6 injured. We will not forgive them for killing 1 person and injuring 6.
The MP for Tamale South and NDC leader in Parliament, Harun Idrisu, joined in the campaign to appeal to the youth to ensure there's peace in the area, but called for an end to what he said is a barbaric act of the police in the area.
What happened yesterday is the third of its kind. We saw it happen in Changli by the police take the law into their own hands. We saw it in Nakwanzo by the same police, unprofessional police, take the law into their own hands, and we saw it yesterday. Enough is enough, and enough of their unprofessional conduct, enough of the tyranny of the people of Tamale under the police. It is a sacrilege when persons empowered and mandated to keep law and order themselves are lawless and take the law into their own hands. Civil liberties remain the most primary and guarantee fundamental human rights and freedoms. The right to life. Hakim has been denied his life by our belief unjustifiably. Us are welcome these investigations into this matter. We will not accept anything short of justice for Hakim and the injured. I will take up this matter much more strongly tomorrow on the floor of Parliament to demand what I understand has commenced already, a full investigation into the matter.
Martina Bugri is our correspondent in the northern region. She joins us with more. Martina, how is the father coping with the death of his son? Hello, Martina.
Rahman Jabir for driving.
We apologize for the breaking sound. Let's now go back to Martina Bugri, who is in Tamale for JoyNews. Martina, how is the father coping with the death of his son?
I must say that he is devastated. You know, like the Ghanaian talent, that a man does not cry. He wants to show face, he's not supposed to cry, but deep down you know that the man is devastated. When you speak to him, he's unable to hold back his tears. It is when you begin asking questions related to the son who died on Sunday. And so it's been a difficult moment for not just the father, but the entire family. The mother is unable to speak to anybody. She's been grieving all along. And people who try to, you know, get her to comfort her, she just won't give in to anybody. She's been holding up to herself all this while as we speak.
So, do we know when the boy will be buried, Martina?
We are told that a pathologist has arrived from Accra this morning to conduct an autopsy on the body. And right after the autopsy is done, the body will be handed over to the family for burial. And we are also told that the regional minister and his team this morning will be visiting the family to commiserate with the family.
Mm. What exactly does the family want the state to do with regards to the loss of their family member?
All they are asking for is justice for their son. They say the boy was getting ready to go to school when their results are in. And now that his life has been taken, and so they expect nothing from government but justice. I must say that a campaign has also begun on social media. If you visit the various social media platforms, they've launched a campaign to help seek for justice for Abdul Hakim Yakub.
We're told that the regional minister will be visiting the family today. Has that happened yet?
Not yet. I'm told that he'll be visiting there later this morning. But as we speak now, he's in a meeting with the Deputy Water Resource Minister in his office as we speak.
Yesterday, there was a request for the people who are in police custody to be released. Has that happened?
Yes, I spoke with the regional crime officer yesterday in the evening, and he says that there was nobody in their custody as far as he was concerned at the time I was speaking to him.
Martina Bugri is a woman reporting from Tamale, where the Lamashego disturbances took place. We're still there with our lenses wide opened. We'll bring you updates as and when we get it. Now, we can go back to our story of a man who is looking for justice for his son who died in the Lamashego disturbances. I've been joined by Director of Amnesty International, Frank Doi, on the police killing of that teenager. I'm grateful for your time. Mr. Doi, a father feels hopeless about the killing of his son. What options are open to him?
Thank you very much, Aisha, for having me. I must say that Amnesty International is deeply concerned about the increasing rate of killing, especially acts of brutality from our law enforcement agencies. The right to life is a fundamental human right that is guaranteed by our Constitution and other laws that Ghana is a party to. And so those who have the responsibility to make sure that we are all safe and secure at all times must not be engaging in acts of violence that result in the untimely death of people. So for this particular incident, not only do we condemn it, but we are concerned that these things continue to happen in this country. And what we will call for immediately is a thorough investigation into the matter. It is good that some 6 police officers or so have been interdicted, but that should not be the end of it. We call for a thorough investigation into the matter, and all those perpetrators or those who have been involved in this act of impunity must be brought to justice. It is important that we ensure that justice is done so that such acts will not continue to occur in this dear nation of ours. It is about time that we called on our law enforcement agencies to ensure that they exercise due diligence in the performance of their duties and that they uphold the rights of all citizens in carrying out their work as required by law.
Well, we are told that the police has opened investigations into it. 6 officers of the police service have been interdicted with regards to this. But of course, we know what will happen, mostly when it has to do with police and the police investigating themselves. We know where it will end. Now, what's the role of Amnesty International in ensuring that justice is actually given to this family?
Thank you very much, Aisha. That's a very important observation you have made. That is why Amnesty International has been advocating for an independent investigation body to handle cases affecting the police so that we are all sure that the matter is dealt with and brought to its logical conclusion. It would be very unfortunate, Aisha, if justice is not done in this case. And for this reason, Amnesty International is going to follow the matter very closely, as we have done in other cases, and we will ensure that justice is seen to be done. We will ensure that this matter does not die what we call a natural death, but the matter is pursued to its logical conclusion. Someone has died. This 18-year-old boy, innocent, he has not committed any crime for which he should be killed in this gruesome manner. Someone has been killed, and those who committed this act have been identified. And so what we will call for is that they should be dealt with according to the law, and they must be punished according to the law. We cannot allow things like this, to be left unpunished. We cannot say that this should be left to God. There are things that we cannot handle that we leave to God, but the things that we can clearly deal with according to our laws, we must do. And Amnesty International is going to ensure that we follow this matter through to the end so that justice is seen to be done. That is the only way that we can prevent other people from committing such acts. Aisha, we are worried that those who have the responsibility to protect our lives are the very ones who are killing innocent people. And the earlier we put a stop to it, the better it will be for all of us. It's the fundamental human rights of all of us to stay alive. It is our right to be protected by all those who have the responsibility to do so, and we must ensure that our laws are upheld at all times. In this case, I can assure you that Amnesty International will work closely with the media, particularly with JoyNews, because we consider you as one of our key allies. We'll work closely with you to ensure that justice is done. Already, we are following up on the previous case of the 70-year-old man who was beaten. We are not going to stop until we see justice said or justice done in this particular case, Aisha.
Mr. Doye, I'm grateful for your time. He's country director for Amnesty International. The minority in parliament is accusing the Akufo-Addo-led administration on collapsing the country's cocoa sector. The minority alleges that in spite of several loan agreements approved by parliament for the purchase of cocoa beans to shore up cocoa production, Cocoa Board and its allied agencies are unable to purchase cocoa from the farmers, a situation they believe has contributed to the sharp decline in cocoa production. Ranking member on the Finance Committee, KCL Ato Forson, has been speaking to the press.
There are some few developing issues, not only the e-levy issues in Parliament, but the issues within the cocoa sector that in the current days we have been worried about. We are hearing that Cocoa Board is not even able to buy up to 42% of what was purchased last year around the same time. So far, figures from the Ghana Cocoa Board themselves suggest that they've bought so far 408,000 metric tons of cocoa, as against almost 600,000 metric tons, same period last year. We are worried because we believe that around this time, because Parliament approved for Ghana Cocoa Board to borrow an amount for the purposes of buying cocoa, we are hearing from the cocoa buying areas that people are ready to sell their cocoa, but the cocoa buyers, in fact, the purchasing companies do not have the money to buy the cocoa for the purposes of supplying to the state and for the state to be able to satisfy the conditions of their contract. So we can only be worried, and many more. And we're also seeing an upsurge of cocoa bills, being cocoa loans, that this government, within a short period of time, they've been able to contract. We've seen numbers that suggest that Cocoa Board owns in excess of 12 billion Ghana cedis from the 1 billion that they inherited. And this is becoming a matter of major concern to us. Look, the fact is, the economy of Ghana is sick, and we need to come together to help solve it. It is not a party's problem, one political party's problem. It's a problem that all of us has to come together and solve. We know this is actually being occasioned by one party's singular mismanagement, but doesn't mean they are the ones that should solve it alone. We believe as a political party, we are a major stakeholder in the management of this country, and so we are ready. We are well positioned, and we believe that if this government calls upon us, we would lend our intellect and our support to the building of this country.
The Economic Fighters League has slammed Special Prosecutor Kissie Jabing for what it describes as a slow-paced activities at the office. The Special Prosecutor yesterday announced that it is currently working on some 45 cases, 3 of which will be sent to court soon. But in a response to the announcement, leading member of the EFL, Hadi Yakubu, said the Special Prosecutor must rather focus on working on the cases.
This bit about in the coming weeks, you hear from me about these cases. I don't really see the point in that. Why can't the special prosecutor just tell us that these are the actions that I've already taken, or wait till he takes those actions and inform us? I mean, Martin Amidou has run the office in a way, he basically just wrote a lot, granted a lot of interviews, and then we barely saw any actions. I mean, one of the only concrete actions that he took on the Ajapa saw his exit. So I don't know if probably that is weighing on this current special prosecutor, that he doesn't want to maybe take concrete action on certain things in order to land in the same fate as Martin Amidou or what. The thing is that the office is losing credibility, and is losing that credibility very, very, very fast. And therefore, all these cases that are before them, we need action on those. Corruption has become so endemic, and all the institutions that we already have basically failed, to help in stemming the tide of corruption.
The Bono Regional Minister Justine Owusu-Banahene has urged gender-based groups, including the Reproductive Needs and Fitness Foundation, to collaborate with stakeholders to be impactful in society. She says working together with agencies such as health, security and social welfare will ensure a comprehensive approach to their operations. The minister was speaking at the launch of a Renef Foundation initiative dubbed Beyond 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence in Sonyan. Also urged them to stick to the tenets of their vision. Precious Semevo has more.
Renef Foundation, formed in 2016 by a group of health workers in Sunyani in the Bono region, has been championing the cause of good health through public education with a keen interest in reproductive health, sexual and gender-based issues. The foundation has been providing support, including financial, counseling, and legal aid for victims. A case in point is a 16-year-old girl impregnated by her father and had to be hosted by an orphanage till she was delivered. Though the mother is being supported to go back to school, Mary Boache, Renef Foundation president, expresses worry over the interference of some key members of the society against justice for such victims.
Basically, some of them is just, they don't know the whereabouts, where to seek for help. In case we find cases like this, then we ourselves will know that we have to send it this way, we have to send it that way. And they always say, let's keep it secret. And that is killing us. If you have a sore and you don't always dress it and you are covering it, what happens? But when you open up and you dress it, then the healing starts to take place. So that is our aim. Let's expose it, send it to the particular or the areas that need to address the issue. Then they will address it and there will be a solution.
Abigail Intribefi, a co-founder of the foundation, also said some victims engaged in reports that monies are taken from them when they report gender-based violence, a situation she said scares the victims and does not motivate them to seek justice due to financial constraints. Bono Regional Minister Justina Usubanahini, speaking at the foundation's initiative launch, dubbed Beyond 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence in Sunyani, urged collaboration with state agencies and other stakeholders to be impactful in society.
Let me, while commending you, advise that you stick to the tenets of your vision in establishing this foundation. The focus should be on the welfare of your target audience and how you can ensure proper adolescent reproductive health interventions alongside the public campaigns. RENEV will succeed and make an impact in our society if the foundation collaborates effectively with state and allied agencies to ensure that there is a comprehensive approach to their operations. Institutions such as the Ghana Health Service, the Domestic Violence and Support Unit, and the Department of Gender are key state agencies which the foundation should have constant engagement and work together for an impactful outcome. Your efforts will in no doubt contribute significantly to attaining the Sustainable Development Goals, and therefore I will encourage you to challenge yourselves to be one of the vibrant NGOs in the region and beyond.
RENEV Foundation, as part of the initiative, will embark on an anti-gender-based violence health sensitization walk through the principal streets of Sunyani and a musical and drama concert on March 7, 2022. Precious Semevo, Joy News, Sunyani.
We're still live on Joy News Desk. We'll take a break and we'll return. There is more for you. Stay tuned in. Welcome back to News Desk. Inadequate and delayed food supply to senior high schools have been a major challenge inhibiting the smooth implementation of the government's free SHS policy. The head of assisted secondary schools, Charles, says the struggle to feed students affects the effectiveness of managing their schools. Charles President Alhaji Yakubu Abubakar says schools also have to contend with the inadequate furniture and dining halls. There's more in this report.
The Minister of Education has been meeting with CHAS and heads of technical and vocational schools in Kumasi. The meeting is to afford the managers of schools an opportunity to engage the minister on challenges in running schools for possible redress. President of CHAS, Alhaji Yakubu Abubakar, says proper planning and strict adherence for food supply schedules to senior high schools is the way to go.
School reopened, it is a week now, and we have received some amount of food in our schools, but not the full complement, of course. So he's working to see how we can get everything in our schools. Ideally, we should have received those things before school reopened, but given some challenges here and there, it has delayed. But we have started receiving it. Some schools this morning are receiving rice and all sorts of items so that we can get the system moving. We've already made them aware that we need to sit and do proper planning and ensure that some of these things go to the schools before school reopen. That way you can do a better management of your school. Or else for now, you will find a lot of heads engaged in the issues of food, when heads should rather concentrate to see how they can get quality outcomes as far as education is concerned at our school levels. So we are hoping that the authorities will listen to us, and moving forward, it wouldn't happen this way again. Before the schools reopen, food are brought to the school, monies are brought to the school, then we can take off very smoothly.
Alhaji Abubakar also lamented inadequate furniture and dining facilities for students.
The other important issues, which were especially furniture. Some schools cannot even receive Form 1s if they are not supplied with furniture before the Form 1s come to school. We've made them aware of that. Beds in the various dormitories are also in short supply. We've drawn their attention to that. Then benches and tables at the dining hall. You know, previously, parents were helping us to get these things all. But with the inception of the free HSS, it is now the burden on government to provide all these. So we've made them aware that they should ensure that we get this. Or else, the Form 1s may come to school and they will not have furniture to sit in the classrooms. They will be in the dormitories and will not have bed to sleep on. And we don't like such a thing to happen. The minister here too has given us the assurance that they will work and ensure that these things are brought to the schools before the 4th of April, when the Form 1s will be expected in our schools.
The Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Osei Edichum, says the issues raised are of much concern to the ministry. He promised immediate action to address them.
We are coming up with new ways of making sure that they get the resources that they need to run their schools well. Of course, like any human institution, some may talk about when is the food distribution, and we set up a system that will enable us to track the food distribution. One thing that is going to be done this year is that we are now going to give them the list of all the food items that they should be receiving. So if the items are not in, they will be able to know that we're supposed to get 1,000 bags of rice, we have this amount, and therefore the buffer stock should be giving us the remainder, and then we can all work together on it. So that's a new way of doing business in terms of food supply in our schools. So that is one area where we've come to a very good agreement as to how to move things in the coming year.
The minister will be meeting with heads of technical and vocational schools.
The family of Ibrahim Mohammed, commonly known as Kaka Macho, the social media activist who was killed in Nigeria, the family has expressed concern over the arrest and subsequent remand of Oliver Bakavamao, the convener of the Fix the Country movement. Kaka's family is taking the arrest seriously, according to a family spokesperson, Nafiu Mohammed, because Mr. Vomawo is not only the family's principal lawyer, but also a financial supporter. According to Mr. Nafiu Mohammed, the family was in touch with Bakavomawo until his arrest.
The family is not taking it easy at all regarding his arrest. Actually, on that fateful Friday, I was in Accra waiting for him. So I had a call from him that he's coming to Ghana, so I should meet him latest around 6 p.m. So I was in Accra that fateful Friday, only to be told by Felicity within the evening that he has been absconded by police or an armed man. Although he has never appeared in court regarding our case, but he leads the cause. All the lawyers are aware that he is their lead counsel. So the family is not taking it easy, but as there are other lead counsel with him in the Fix the Country and in general the movement, we are sure the good Lord, that's Almighty Allah, will sail him through, because we are of the view that it's because of the activism and the comment he passed through Facebook his wall that might have resulted in this. But we are hopeful that the right thing will be done. We are bothered as a family because of the kind of engagement. I can tell you that every day I have discussion with him on phone. Totally, in terms of finance, a lot of activity. He has been helping the family a lot. The family is going to miss him with this short time.
My name is Mohammed Nuruddin in Kumasi, and
we'll take a break. When we return, we have the very latest from the world of business. Time now for business. Honey producers in Ghana will soon get a policy to regulate the operations of the business and its exports. This was disclosed by Chief Executive of the Chamber of Agribusiness, Anthony Morrison. According to him, implementing the National Honey Production and Investment Policy will enable the country achieve $1 trillion sector in 2030, projected by the World Bank. Mr. Morrison spoke to Joy Business after the launch of the Make Ghana's Honey Fit for Export project.
Chief Executive of the Chamber of Agribusiness, Anthony Morrison, has indicated that for Ghana's honey industry to be competitive on the global market, there is a need for the implementation of a policy. According to him, discussions are ongoing to implement the National Honey Production and Investment Policy to give Ghana a comparative advantage on the international market.
It's very important that we are starting with this for now. There are other programs that the Chamber of Agribusiness and its partners in Germany are initiating to harmonize the current activities. Also to engage the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to design a national honey production and investment. We need to have an industry that our beekeepers, just as it was said in the World Bank report, that if African farmers are able to uptake high skills and also adopt technology, they would be able to attain $1 trillion by 2030, which is 8 years more to go. So we believe that the honey industry serves that purpose.
The CSIR Food Research Institute launched the Make Ghana's Honey Fit for Export project. Project coordinator Dr. Courage Besa Adanu revealed that the project is to determine the kinds of honey produced in the country and to give guide in the formulation of standards for the sector.
We wanted now to scale the analysis not only to one region but across the country, so that as scientists we can be able to define the honey that we have, so we can profile them and know what we have. Then our formulation of standards can fit, be in the right place. Then we can be able to package our honey very well, so that you, for instance, who is skeptical about buying honey, all your doubt will be cleared. Then also we can be able to enter premium markets like the EU.
Chairman of the Beekeepers Association, Patrick Ado-Newman, expressed his excitement for the launch of the project. He believes the project will upscale honey production in Ghana.
This particular project that has been launched is going to help our industry to grow. Some of us have been in the industry for the past 30, 40 years. And we realize the industry is still where it is. But with this project being launched, we are now going to be able to identify the type of honey we produce. And with this project, we'll be able to test and know the type of honey we are producing for the market. Apart from that, we are not able to export. We are not able to produce to even feed the local market. Come in this project, because of the genuineness of the honey we produce, and then the importance and the medicinal value that we note, the people out there are going to make sure that they take and chase our honey.
The National Union of Ghana Students has introduced a vocational and entrepreneurship training for students in tertiary institutions to reduce graduate unemployment in the country. President Emmanuel Boakye-Adom explains a comprehensive plan has been drawn to ensure all students acquire technical and vocational skills to complement their fields of study. Nanaya Ojima has more.
Data from the Institute of Statistics, Social and Economic Research of the University of Ghana shows only 10% of graduates find jobs within their first year after completing school. The data also indicates it takes up to 10 years for majority of graduates to secure employment. The research ascribed the challenge to lack of employable skills, among others, as the reasons. President of NUCS, Emmanuel Boakye-Adom, says dealing with impediments that delay employment of graduates is the goal of the Entrepreneurship and Skills Development Office of the Union.
You see, this is something that teaches a skill, something that teaches something specific. Now, for instance, with the soap, making liquid soap and others. Now, if you're able to learn it, you're able to learn it well, practice it well, produce good and better materials, I believe you can be able to sell it to earn a living. Now, those that learn something about pastry making with the meat pie and others, these are stuff that we buy them on the street almost every day.
Through the Entrepreneurship and Skills Development Office, Some students in tertiary institutions in Asante Mampong enclave have received some vocational training. Mr. Boachi Yadom again.
So we are looking at they trying to start these things themselves. We taught our colleagues how to do these basic stuff such that they need little or they require little capital to start themselves up when they want to embark on it.
Meanwhile, Principal of St. Monica's College of Education, Dr. David Ochekranche, believes development of such skill will be beneficial to students.
And as an institution like this, we buy soap in large quantities for our cleaning purposes. And if our students can even put themselves together, even at the department, and produce the soap, then we can put them into a company, initiate the procurement process here so that they will grow.
Nanaya Ochima, Kumasi.
And it's time now for Sports. Muftau Nabila is here with the very latest. Hello, Muftau. Hi. So the Ghana Football Association has a duty, a mandate to actually explain to Ghanaians why we didn't do well at AFCON. I mean, it's in the right place for Parliament to invite them.
Yeah, it is. But I actually think that this one looks like the Commission of Inquiry that we had in 2014 to explain why the Black Stars players demanded for appearance fees and some of them wanted to boycott training session and all that. Yeah, it's actually right that the Parliament decides that come and explain to why we didn't win the AFCON, what are some of the problems, what solutions can we provide for you and all that. I only think that they're just overstepping some of their boundaries. I'm thinking so because there are some of the things that no matter what they do, they will never get answers to. And I'm not sure the GFA will come and will not say stories that are going to be in their favor. I'm not sure the Black Stars players, when they invited, are not going to say stories that are going to be in their favor. So you will end up, yes, having a fruitful exercise, but the results are not going to be very positive. That's why I have a little bit of reservation because I listened to some of the members of Parliament on the floor of Parliament, and they sounded, excuse my language, so ignorant about the issues in relation to the national team. And if you're very ignorant about some of the key things that are happening within the national team, even player callers, and now you're inviting these people to come and offer you.
They will still come and tell you and use all the technical, the jargons, and then walk away. But indeed, what are really the problems facing us, which the GFA wouldn't want to talk about, but they are the core problems?
I think the bigger issue that many people have never been willing to talk about is about what is stand to benefit within the national team, where most people see this Black Stars setup as a team that they can use to add value to their players and market them. When you're able to add value to your player, it's much easier for you to sell that player. And even the Minority Leader of Parliament actually stood on the floor of Parliament and said that his player Fatawi Sahako, since he got an invitation to the Black Stars, his value shot up and he's been able to sell him for a huge amount of money. Per what we know, it's like 1.5 million euros that 17-year boy old has been sold to a club in Portugal. So what it means is that most of these people within the national team have always used the national team as the tool to be able to market their players, and that's what is not helping the national team.
So they would want to get their players
they would always want
even though they do not fit or they cannot get us what you're looking for.
And the other thing has to do with the internal bickering that has always been within the team. You have people would not be willing to say it, but the Black Stars team, as we see it, have got 3 different camps. You've got the captain's camp, the deputy captain's camp, another player who also claims he's a senior player camp.
Which is not fair. I mean,
they all go on the pitch and they're not passing the ball to each other very well. They go on the pitch. One is not willing to cover up for the other. And it makes it really, really difficult. And it's a team sport.
No, it's a team. I mean, you have to play as a team. And that explains why this one, they have to play like a formation. And then you see that one person has the football and they want to go and score. So they'll say Muftau is the one who really scored the goal.
And even if you look at the team that played in the just ended AFCON, you would notice that anytime the ball was either on the left or on the right-hand side, and it was cutting through the right back, the person who was supposed to provide cover for the right back was not
was not there.
And you ask questions and they give you some of the flimsiest of excuses you will ever hear. Because you think that the person is not up to the standard of playing for the national team. And there's always this feeling that the players called up as substandard. There's this feeling that, let's go and play and go. So it's when you speak to these players,
it's really sad.
Can you imagine when Ghana was losing to Comoros? Some of them were seated in the stands, sending messages to journalists and were laughing.
It's really sad.
No, you were going to take the $30,000.
Well, let's see how it goes in Parliament.
I'm not sure they're going to get anything. The National Sports Authority has been invited. Garka has been invited. The Ministry of Youth and Sports has been invited. It's unclear when. I know the NSA will appear before the committee tomorrow, as well as Garka. But I'm not sure when Andrea will appear, though I've made to understand that letters have been sent to all parties to make appearance before the committee. We'll
see how it goes. But today there's a big game happening.
The UEFA Champions League. Arguably the biggest club competition in the world. It makes it 10 to 9. It's Paris Saint-Germain, underachievers of this tournament, and Real Madrid, the record champions of the competition. It's a big, big night. I'm not sure what's likely to happen, considering the fact that Real Madrid so far have had so-so performances. PSG themselves have not been great. That's why there's little questions surrounding what this fixture is going to look like. On paper, it's a great match, but on the pitch, I'm not sure we're going to have a very great match. There's a possibility that Paris Saint-Germain might not come up. But one interesting thing about these fixtures are now that the away goal rule has been scrapped.
Okay.
So whether you win 1-0 or 5-0 or what, and then you score 2 away goals, they're no longer going to count. So if you win 5-0 or 3-0 at home, the other team that's going to also play at home must score more. Yeah. So away goal rules are no longer going to be applicable in this competition. And that's one interesting thing that I would actually be looking out for. There's also Sporting Lisbon versus Manchester City. Okay. Manchester City also underachievers in the competition. They've never won it before. They were in the final in last year against Chelsea. Unfortunately, they lost to Chelsea. I'm sure Pep Guardiola is seeking to redeem himself in this competition. He's won it twice with Barcelona in 2009 and 2011, beating Manchester United in both finals. He went to Bayern Munich, it never worked out. Now he's at Manchester City. Would it work out this time around? Maybe that game against Sporting Lisbon will give us an idea about what they can do. But the biggest stage of this competition has always been the semi-final, where the big guns will always be there to maybe tell the stories of the competition.
We'll live to see how that goes also, but that will be it for sports. Thank you, Muftar, for bringing us sports. That will be it also for News Desk. My name is Ibrahim. Many thanks for watching. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. Let's meet again at 12 midday.